You're looking at three things from any grocery store that total less than $12. Together, they replicate the exact orange tank mix that costs $30 a box at every campground supply store in North America. Each treatment costs 27 cents. The chemistry behind it has been documented since 1899, and the reason it works is not complicated. Once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it every time you look at a box of orange pods. Let's start with what is actually inside a drop-in RV toilet pod. Pick up any box of the premium orange ones and read the fine print on the back panel. The active ingredient list is short. A surfactant, a soap-like compound that reduces surface tension and stops waste from sticking to your tank walls. A fragrance, almost always citrus-based. And in the enzyme versions, a dried bacteria culture. That is the complete list. You are paying $1.50 to $2 per pod for a chemistry stack with 3 grocery store equivalents. The problem those pods solve is real enough. When an RV black tank sits without liquid, the walls dry out. Waste coats the level sensors. Odors build from sulfur-producing bacteria working on dried material. The pods break down the coating, suppress the bacteria, and keep the tank environment wet enough to prevent solid buildup. That is the job. And the moment you understand what each part of that job actually requires, the pod price becomes very difficult to justify. The compound doing most of the work in nearly every orange RV pod is sodium percarbonate, classified as an oxygen bleach, not chlorine bleach, oxygen bleach. It has been used in industrial cleaners, laundry boosters, and deck wash products since 1899. You have likely had something containing it in your laundry room your entire adult life. When sodium percarbonate contacts water, the molecule splits into 2 compounds, sodium carbonate and hydrogen peroxide. The hydrogen peroxide is the engine. Inside your black tank, it releases active oxygen. That oxygen does 3 things simultaneously. First, it destroys odor-producing bacteria at the source, not by masking the smell, but by eliminating the organism generating it. Second, the oxygen release loosens dried organic waste from the tank walls, the same way oxygen bleach lifts a set stain from fabric. Third, it raises the pH of the water in the tank, creating an environment actively hostile to the sulfur-producing bacteria, responsible for the worst odors. 10 pounds of sodium percarbonate costs $38 on Amazon. Each treatment uses 2 tablespoons, under 1 ounce of material. That is 22 cents of active ingredient per dump cycle. The orange scent in those pods is not decorative. Sweet orange essential oil contains D-limonene, a natural solvent from orange peel, with the specific ability to break down the greasy film that builds up on tank walls. The film that water and sodium carbonate cannot reach on their own. A 1 ounce bottle costs about $9 and contains enough for an entire camping season of treatments. The standard fix in RV forums for 20 years has been the GEO method, Calgon water softener and Dawn dish soap. It works for surface slipperiness and basic odor control. But experienced full-timers have been moving toward oxygen bleach mixes for one specific reason. Sodium percarbonate physically breaks down waste buildup. Calgon makes tank walls slippery. Sodium percarbonate destroys what is already stuck to them. The pod companies have been using oxygen bleach all along. It is on the ingredient label if you look, usually listed as sodium percarbonate or oxygen-based active compound. What the brands added was the orange oil, the fragrance, the convenient pod format, and a retail margin. 3 of those 4 things cost $12 and last a year. One of them is just a convenience markup. Here is the one honest thing this mix does not replicate on its own, and the fix is an 11-cent packet from the baking aisle. Premium enzyme pods, the $2 versions, contain live bacteria cultures that biologically digest solid waste and toilet paper. Sodium percarbonate destroys bacteria rather than adding them. For most campers, dumping every 3 to 5 days, that distinction is irrelevant. But for extended boondocking, a week or more between dump stations, there is a biological upgrade that closes that gap completely. Here is exactly how it works. After you dump and rinse your tank, the first thing into the tank is water. 2 to 3 gallons before anything else goes in. A dry black tank is where sensor failures start, and where odors become genuinely difficult to manage. Then flush the following down your toilet bowl in this order. 2 tablespoons of sodium percarbonate, 1 tablespoon of Arm & Hammer, superwashing soda. The blue box in the laundry aisle, not baking soda, not baking powder. The blue box specifically marked superwashing soda. 1 teaspoon of plain blue Dawn dish soap. 6 drops of sweet orange essential oil, pre-mixed into the soap so it disperses when it hits water. Follow with 1 full toilet bowl of water to flush everything into the tank. Base formula complete. 27 cents without the orange oil, about 50 cents with it. Works for trips of 3 to 5 days between dump cycles. handles odor at the source, breaks down tank wall coating, and keeps sensors reading accurately. The upgrade is for longer trips. If you are going more than 5 days between dumps, full timing, remote boondocking, extended dry camping, give the percarbonate 4 hours to finish releasing oxygen before adding the next step. You need the hydrogen peroxide to stop being active before you introduce anything living. Dissolve 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast with 1 teaspoon of sugar in about 1 cup of warm water. Not hot, warm. Flush that down the toilet. Active dry yeast, the Fleischmann's packets from the baking aisle, introduces live organisms that produce cellulase enzymes. Cellulase digests cellulose. Toilet paper is cellulose. 1 packet costs 33 cents and gives you enough yeast for 3 separate treatments. Total cost per treatment with the yeast step, 38 cents. That is the enzyme formula, the biological breakdown formula, the one that $2 pods have been charging a premium for. A few things worth knowing before your first batch. Do not pre-mix sodium percarbonate and orange essential oil and seal them in a container for storage. Sodium percarbonate is an oxidizer. Essential oils are organic compounds. Sealed together, they build pressure over time. Mix each treatment fresh. It takes 30 seconds, and the ingredients stay stable separately in sealed bags for months. For your gray tank, the sink and shower drain tank, the base formula works on its own. 2 tablespoons of percarbonate, 1 tablespoon of washing soda, 1 teaspoon of Dawn, flushed with water after each dump. Gray tanks accumulate grease and soap scum, not solid waste. No yeast step needed. The oxidizing action handles gray tank odor completely. The one addition that makes a measurable difference on long trips: do a pre-treatment soak the night before you leave. After your last dump before a trip, add the full base mix with 2 gallons of water and let it sit overnight. Commercial pods are engineered to dissolve fast and activate quickly. They are designed for speed, not duration. Your percarbonate mix, with slightly less dish soap to control foam, stays chemically active for hours. A 12-hour overnight soak before a trip breaks down residue from the last trip, clears any sensor coating, and starts every journey with a genuinely clean tank instead of just a freshly treated one. The full recipe and every ingredient with exact links is in the description. If this replaces something you have been overpaying for, subscribe and keep an eye open for my next video.